What is up, YouTube? This is Alucard AFK with another MTGO game with commentary. Sorry for not uploading a video the last couple days. I was out of town. We're back on our mono black drain deck, the deck that I started this series with, and it's still very relevant, at least until we get a rotation. So why not play it? So he's going to play a Plains. And our opening hand is a Guess Verdict, 4 Swamps, a Mark-Off, Partition, Swords of Vengeance, and then we just got a Child of Night in the draw, so we'll go ahead and play a Swamp. And he'll put a Avon Squire out. It's Flying Exalted. It's a 1/1 for 1 colorless, so 1 white. Got another Swamp. Go ahead and put a Child of Night out. It's a 2/1 with lifelink. I probably could revise this deck with some, Vampire Nocturnus and Bloodline Keeper and things like that, because essentially it is all vampires. But I really like the fact that I constructed this myself. Haven't really modified it too much, and it's still been very relevant. So in the paper edition, I think I did switch out, some creatures and stuff for Vampire Nocturnus, but the meta around here is a little bit differently than online. So he's going to play a Crusader of Odic. Whenever Odic's power and toughness are equal to the number of creatures you control, that's can be a very powerful card there. So you've got a lot of creatures out there. So he'll trigger the Exalted ability. He'll go to a 2/2 flying, and he'll swing in for 2. Got another Swamp. So really at this point, just with the opening hand, a lot of people would go ahead and mulligan if they got this in their opening hand. I just like to ramp up to it. I feel like usually in this deck I can get a ton of creatures out and just stall until Sorin or Sorin's Vengeance can get out. So let's go ahead and do a Guess Verdict. At least drop one of his creatures, so he'll get rid of the flying, so we don't deal as well with flying. And then Odic will just be a 1/1. He knows he's got more creatures, so. And we won't swing in. We don't want to trade creatures at this point. Keep Child of Night out for a blocker for the moment. So I'll bring an Emancipation Angel out. When Emancipation enters the battlefield, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. So Odic will become a 2/2. And then he returned the Crusader of Odic to his hand. And we got a Vampire Nighthawk. Go ahead and play a Swamp. And go put our Vampire Nighthawk. 2/3 flying, Death Touch, lifelink for 1 colorless and 2 black. Still one of my favorite mono black cards. And I don't mean mono black in casting, I just mean playing this card in mono black decks. I mean, it's not like Phyrexian Obliterator, which is really a mono black, card. Phyrexian Obliterator is 4 black, no colorless there at all, but I always play Vampire Nighthawk on my mono black decks. So he'll go ahead and put Crusader of Odic back out. And then he'll plot out a Kite Sail. Equipped creature gets 1/1 and has flying. You can equip it for 2, which is fine. And we got a Bloodseeker, which is going to not do much early on, but over time it can definitely. And then of course there's Blood Artist in this deck as well. It can seriously hamper. And remember, Sorin's Vengeance does 10 damage, so really our job at this point is to get him down to 10 or below. So Bloodseeker will help us do that without really having to swing in at all. So go ahead and put Bloodseeker out, so he starts triggering abilities, and then we'll go ahead and put a Markov Partition out. And I'll swing in with Vampire Nighthawk. He'll block with Emancipation Angel, which, in my opinion, was a good trade. So and you'll put out an Angel of Jubilation flying. Other non-black creatures you control get 1/1, and he's a 3/3 flying. We'll get a triggered ability from Bloodseeker, and he'll start going down to 18. Got another Partition. Put a Swamp out. And then for those of keeping score here, we've got 4, 5, 6, so we need one more for Sorin's Vengeance, because he is 7. And so on this round, we'll just swing in with Markov. Really not aiming to go for the throat, so to speak. I know that's a card, but I like saying it. We don't really want to shoot in with all of our guys at the moment. We want to wait till we have a little bit more firepower and, you know, closer down to 10. So play a Guardians of Akrisa. It's a defender, it's exalted, and it's 4. So when it comes out, it becomes a 1/5, and he'll lose 1 life for that. So we'll go to 14, and then he'll put a Aven Squire out, which is great, and he'll lose another life. So okay, so now he's down to 13. We'll go ahead and let him trigger his Exalted. So this Crusader of Odic will become a 6/6. We're at 23 life, so we don't want to block, we don't want to lose our guys, because we want to swinging with full power next round. So we go ahead and let him swing in. And we were looking for a swamp, you know, for Sorin's Vengeance, but we got a Geralt's Messenger, which is just as good, I think. So he'll come out, he'll immediately be tapped and deal 2 damage. And the Messenger is a 3/2 Undying, so for 3 black straight. And then we go ahead and swing in with everything we got. All we're trying to do is at least get 1 damage through, so that when we do get our next swamp, we can play Sorin's Vengeance and end this game. So we're just shooting in to get rid of some of his creatures, you know, like trade creatures, but if we can get 1 damage in, like if he just lets Bloodseeker go through and he goes down to 10, it would be great for us. So he blocks, or starts to block, so he's going to block Patrician with the Defender, which is fine. He'll block Bloodseeker with the Aven Squire. And then he'll block Child of Night with the Angel of Jubilation. So he's going to let a Markov Partition go through for 3, which is fantastic for us. And I'm pretty sure he's like, well, I get to keep my 5/5 with exalted abilities, a 3/3, my Defender 1/5, and my 2/2 out here, so he thinks he's looking pretty good against my 3/1 and my 3/2 Undying. But we got 3 damage in, so he's down to 8, so that just kind of really ensures that we're going to be able to swing in with Sorin's Vengeance and win this. So he'll play Intrepid Hero. It's an N13 card. It can tap and destroy target creature with power 4 or greater. So he'll bring that out, and he'll swing in exalted abilities, and he'll go to a 9/8, which is not enough. We'll go to 15, and we got our swamp, so we'll go ahead and play our swamp, and I'll call it a day. So game ended on turn 8. If you remember from some of my earlier videos, I used this deck. This deck is built around, you know, turn 7, turn 8, something like that. It does go a little bit longer. It just depends on whether I get Soren Mark Alpha first, and he does his -3 ability, which reduces their life to 10, and then the Soren's Vengeance. I think the only thing I revised in this deck, really, as of late, was I used to run one Soren's Vengeance and one Soren Markov and use Diabolic Tutor to get those. I've been using Diabolic Tutor, you know, since it came out. It's funny, a lot of people are just now saying, "Oh, I didn't know Diabolic Tutor was out there. I got to start using that." So I still have Diabolic Tutor in this deck. I just don't use it as much. So instead of putting more Diabolic Tutors, I put more Soren's Vengeance and I think one more Soren Markov. So it increases our win condition to win conditions a little bit easier. And then of course we always have our creatures to bash in with, which, you know, we didn't really need to get. We just needed to get one more damage in before we did Soren Vengeance. But we got 3 in, so that just kind of sealed the deal for us. So like and subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you would have done differently, how you think that this deck has performed overall. There's tons of videos early on in the series that run this deck. So anyway, we'll catch you later. Thanks for subscribing.